Hello guys and dolls, welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Today we're taking a look at Superman from the B3dserk Patreon. Before we get started, roll those credits and a word from our sponsor.
PCBWay are proud sponsors of the channel. They offer industry-leading 3D printing services covering all types of materials and processes. They also offer industry-leading online CNC machine services from milling, machining, and turning in all the materials you could possibly need. They also offer a fully online prototyping PCB service. Everything from assembly through to design, you can do it all online with an easy system to use for quality. So for all of your needs, check out PCBWay in the link in the video description.
Okay, so a rare occasion where we've actually done one the scale that it was originally supposed to be done at. So this guy is about 400mm tall and about 300mm wide all the way around. It's a little difficult when you get bases like this where there sort of kind of are something and kind of aren't. Like this is meant to be kind of rock down the bottom, and then I assume that this is meant to be part of like his crystal palace or whatever it is, his fortress of solitude. So I decided to do it all in ice. I've not really done ice effect before. We'll show you in a second, but we also use some of the Green Stuff World special effects paint called Liquid Frost. You put it on in a thin layer, you leave it for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and crystals start to form. You then paint over it, and again and again and again. You build it up and build it up until you get a really nice frost effect. Frost effect does a really good job of muting down some of the blues that I put into this. I've got a bit keen with the blue. I've never really tried to do like glacier ice before, so I really like the way that this eventually turned out. All of the band round the front and the Superman logo that's now covered in frost, that's all done FDM, and we then used graphite powder. So you buff that on and then you buff it off. I then use a top coat of gloss and a graphite powder over again, and you get a really highly reflective finish. It's really good for things if you're trying to get like a gunmetal color. So think like Mandalorian armor or something like that Beskar armor, the really sort of like black chrome, comes out really nicely. So you base coat in black, you do a gloss coat, you then put on your graphite, you gloss coat again and another coat of graphite, and it comes out really quite smooth. All of Superman himself is actually done in resin. He looks much better. It's quite a detailed textured surface, so I was a little worried about whether or not support scarring was going to screw it up, but it didn't. So let's take a quick look around the model and we'll do some 360s for you. So the resin and the filament that we use for this is from the channel's new sponsor, JamgHe. We used their speed filament for their FDM side, and we used some of their art engineering resin for the MSLA side. It's genuinely well priced, and frankly, it produces really consistent results. We've had issues with a couple of other sponsors that we've tried to have on the channel before, where their material is good, but it's just not consistent enough. And when you're printing across multiple machines, you really don't need the variance in your material, throwing a bunch of stuff off. The JamgHe material has done a really good job on this. It's super consistent. It's producing the same results across all of our machines. All of our machines seem to really like it. So we've got the Bamboo Carbon, we've got the K1 Max, we've got the Artillery Sidewinder, and we've got the Elegoo Neptune, and it's printing really nice in those. And then I've printed for the resin side. It's printed really well on the Elegoo Saturn as well. So it's producing really high consistent detail. So check out the link in the video description if you want to check it out for yourself. That is not an affiliate link. We don't get any money. However, full disclosure, they did send us this material for free. So just bear that in mind. So complexity-wise, complexity of the print, actually relatively simple complexity-wise. I'd say this is like a 3 or a 4. You have to make sure it's supported in the right way. You have to tilt the head back. Assembly-wise, like a 3. The only thing I'll say is don't make the mistake I did. I glued the head on once he was finished, but the cape was the last thing that I did. So, annoyingly, the cape's supposed to go on first, and then the head is supposed to go on last, and it actually hides some of the seams for you. So I kind of messed that up. That was my fault. I didn't really pay attention to how it was supposed to go together. I didn't dry fit it or anything. Overall, everything goes together really nicely. All of these ice parts, they all print separately. They printed on the Artillery X4 Plus. When it came to the cape and the base, they were all on the Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus. And then all of the model itself was done on the Elegoo Saturn Ultra 12K. It didn't need to be done on a 12K printer, just to be clear. That's just the printer that was available at the time, so that's the one I did it on. Came out, as I say, really nice. Everything's super clean. You do have to be careful when you're doing things like hands and heads. The detail can be obscured by where the support scarring is, so you just have to be careful how you orientate them. The head, I actually pivoted back so that none of the face actually had supports on it. And yeah, and other than that, paint job wise, I would say this is about a 5 really. It's not super complicated to paint. It's Superman, so it's Superman colours. This particular one is kind of more Superman from Injustice, so that's why he's got all the gold on him and things like that. And I quite like him. He looks a little armoured, and I think it looks cool. This is supposed to be the Henry Cavill head. I will say it doesn't really look super like Henry Cavill, if I'm perfectly honest, but the flesh tone was easy enough to do, and I think the frost effect really makes the model pop. So all in all, I think it's really good. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.